Get over here. Finish him.
Oh, hello there. My name is Tyler, and this is Everyday EDC. And today we are reviewing the Offgrid Knives Scorpion. Alright guys, for the review of the Offgrid Knives Scorpion, let's start this out. So first and foremost, I was ecstatic to get this thing in hands. Ever since I've seen it since 4 months ago, I was like, oh, this is gorgeous. I can't wait to feel one. Should I buy one? No. Should I buy one? No. And then I saw the Black Stallion, and I'm like, I gotta jump headfirst into the Offgrid Knives. So without further ado, let's get into what this thing's all about. We'll go into some specs. We'll go into some size comparisons, overall thoughts. Is this a forever knife? You know, let's go. So first and foremost, this knife is designed by WE Knife Co. Their lower models are designed by Bestech. Their upper tier models are manufactured by WE. So you can already tell with that note alone that this is going to be an ultra high quality piece. We have a titanium frame lock with carbon fiber inlays, and the carbon fiber sits pretty flush. And it's on the other side too. I have, like, the fitting of that is great. We have an ambidextrous pocket clip, which is recessed with not recessed screws. Once again, like, don't do recessed pocket clip and not recessed screws. Whatever. It's not a huge deal. I actually don't mind at all, and I kind of just noticed it while I was looking at it now. That means it hasn't affected me, and I've carried this for quite some time. So we have some jimping going all the way back down. We'll call it the spine of the scales, if you will. We have another titanium backspacer here. We have some jimping going right up the thumb ramp of the blade, which is gradual. And it goes into a swoop, and then a swedge, and then a reverse tanto looking thing. Might call it a sheep's foot, might call it a reverse tanto, whatever you... to me, it's more of a reverse tanto. This blade is S35VN, and the blade is relatively clean, short of this... Once again, you guys are going to be like, I bet you that's lettuce. It is. I got to clean this thing off. Short of the Offgrid Knives logo right there, and the S35VN marking right there. This is a frame lock with an over travel stop, which is real nice and easy to operate, and the action is oh so good. I can add a little bit of oil to this and make this thing just stupid, but I'm kind of trying to let it break in by itself. Realistically, that's all it is. It's a very good action. I mean, it's smooth, it's frictionless, and you could tell that with another drop of oil, with a little bit more break in, this thing's just going to have that, like, hydraulic fall shut. So it has a T8 pivot screw. Why would you do that? You did it on the Stallion. And T6 body screws. And you have 3 of them on either side. That annoys the crap out of me. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 T6 screws on here. The Offgrid Knives Stallion had all T8s, including the pocket clip. So they should have done that with this, but whatever. Ergonomically. So originally, ergonomically, I loved it, and I still do. I'm not going to double back on that. But you have a lot of space for your... I guess I didn't realize how large this knife actually is. This is a very, very large knife. And until you get it in hand and see it, you're like, whoa. So ergonomically, you have plenty of room to move around. You're not locked into any one position, and that's cool. Like, you can go wherever you want. It's great. This thumb ramp feels great, and everything kind of makes sense. So yeah, ergonomically, this is a very sound knife. Action, very sound knife. S35VN blade, very sound. And aesthetics, oh my goodness, look at that. Just good looking. Let's see here. There's no recessing on there's no cutouts on any of the titanium scales inside, but that's probably because they did these inlays, and once you cut in there, you're not going to be able to cut the other way and whatnot. So I'm not mad at it, because this feels... So they go in for this black on black tactical feel. Once you guys see the weight of this guy, you're going to be like, yeah, that is, because it's heavy. And I feel like when I take this thing, I know I have a knife in hand. Despite being a thinner knife in profile, it's heavy and it feels nice. I truly do love this knife. And we'll go into that at the end, how much I love this knife. But let's get you guys some specs. So first and foremost, overall length of this beast coming in at 8 3/4 inches. So it's a very long knife. Most knives are coming in between 7 3/4 and 8. And those are still considered large knives, right? This blade length is coming in at 4 inches, so definitely not legal for some people. And the cutting edge is coming in at 3 3/4. So you're getting a lot of knife in this particular knife. And I love every part of it. All right. So the overall weight of this guy's coming in right at 5 ounces. So to put that into perspective, you know, let's see what your shaman's coming in at. It's about the same weight as your standard Spyderco Shaman. Pretty beefy. It's a pretty heavy little guy. And it's not little at all. I don't even know where the little guy came from when I said that. Couldn't find my freaking calipers. Alright, let's check the blade stock thickness. Blade stock thickness is coming in at 155 thousandths, almost 160. It's great. But the edge is coming in at 20 thousandths. That's just stupid. And this is a flat grind, I think. I'll correct myself if it's not. It might not be. It actually kind of looks like a hollow grind. I'll correct it on the video. But I could have sworn this was a flat grind. So, Jesus. So this is the first time I take this measurement. 20 thousandths. What is it up at the tip? It's about 25 thousandths. And the way that they cut this swedge, the tip is actually pretty robust by comparison of some. So here is your Spyderco Shaman, for example. Look at that. You get more meat going down until the very edge of the tip there. So I'm pretty impressed with just the overall robust feeling that this knife provides. The Offgrid Knives Scorpion feels so robust. Ironically, I damaged it, and I'm going to go into that later too, but I was a little frustrated with that. All right, so this is coming in at 0.47 inches thick, which is, you know, just under half an inch, which is actually a little bit less than average. The overall height of this knife in your pocket is going to be about 1.35 inches, which, to put that into perspective, it's pretty narrow. I would call that almost standard, say, like, it's similar to, say, the Feldspar or something of that nature, but it's not going to be as tall as your Spyderco families. And here's your Offgrid Knives Black Stallion, for example. Yeah, you're not going to have the same problems that you have with the Stallion in your pocket that you have with the Scorpion. Look at that. Just stupid. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right. Let's get you guys some size comparisons since we're already doing them. Here is your Spyderco Shaman and your Spyderco Para 3. As you can see, much longer than both, but it's not going to take up as much of your pocket. And the lines, the geometric lines that we talk about, I love. That is why I love this knife so much. I'll hold off on that. I'll go into that at the end. As you guys can tell, I am extremely excited about the Offgrid Knives Scorpion. And I kind of made it jump up the list on my reviews just to knock it out. So here is my large Feldspar and my mini Feldspar. As you can see, much longer than both, but the carry profile is going to be the same in height, not in length. Here is your Rat Model 1 and your Rat Model 2. As you can see, much longer than both, and that's pretty impressive considering that if you're that much longer than the Rat Model 1, yeah, it's quite a bit. And the camera's not playing tricks on you guys. Like, to put it into perspective, there's the tip, And there's that. I would have to give it at least half an inch longer than the Rat Model one. Last but not least, let's do a Savivi Brigand. I'm not going to do the Durus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you your 8015, because it is, once again, Offgrid Knives and Cold Steel are kind of remind me of each other. They're very, very much so like robust, maybe slightly overbuilt. Even though this is like has that sleek look, it still feels overbuilt. And it just has this robust, just a beefy feel that you feel like you can take anywhere and it's going to do anything and everything. And so that's why these are a good comparison, because look, they're about the same length. The cutting edge is slightly longer on the Scorpion. But other than that, I mean, yeah, this is a little bit thicker in hand. This might have better ergonomics due to the thickness of the handle and the more robust feel. But yeah, if you like the 8015, once again, you're A, going to like Offgrid Knives, B, you're really going to like the Scorpion in my opinion. So let's do a quick recap, and then I'll give my overall thoughts. So we have this titanium frames with carbon fiber inlays on both sides, and I like that. I like that they took the time to still, even though it's not the same exact symmetry on where these are placed, they did a really good job of still doing it on both sides, which makes me really appreciate the thought that went into this knife. There's chamfering going all around the edges of the titanium. Makes it super nice in hand. You have a deep carry pocket clip that is stupid robust. Look how thick that pocket clip is. Here, let's see this. Look how thick. The blade stock on that pocket clip is just gnarly. So that's pretty cool. You have this jimping all along the backside that is actually functional. When your hand is here, like, you don't feel the jimping, but you can also feel locked in. Like, I'm trying to move my palm up, and it's locked into place, and it's not uncomfortable. Recessed things for recessed place for the pocket clip. Unfortunately, the pocket clip screws are not recessed, and they should be. A over travel stop with the frame lock on bearings that is just awesome action. Just fantastic. Here's the side. Like, this thing's gonna break in so nice. We have a decent ergonomics with jimping on this thumb ramp heading up to the top of heading up to the blade, and you're locked in here. You're locked in here very well with the swedge that comes down that really protects this reverse Tonto style blade, which is good for puncturing. I wouldn't use it for prying, but still, you know, it's S35, so it's relatively tough. You might be able to get away with certain little things. We have a sharpening tool there. Never mentioned that. Yeah, whatever. There is jimping on the flipper tab. I didn't mention that, but it's subtle. Look at that. It's pretty subtle, and it's perfect. I mean, that's a light switch, and then that's the button. I can button open it, but push button. I don't know that you can open it. With the light switch, you definitely can. Now let's take a look at the downside here. Can you guys see that? See those little nicks? Right up, where am I at? Right up here. Yeah. I chipped my blade. I've tried to strop it out, and it's definitely turning into a chip. Right there. Not a huge deal, but when it's your new knife and this is your favorite knife right now, you're like, fudge! Only I didn't say fudge. I said the mother of all curse words. So, yeah, that's where I get to. I mentioned this in the Black Stallion review. I believe that they're almost overheat treating their knives, or their grinding process to get to the secondary, like the secondary bevel and the primary edge. They may be overheating the blade. The reason I say that is I was using the Offgrid Knives Viper, and I was cutting like a shim. So those little wooden shims that you put in doors and windows. Yeah, I was cutting that in half to actually make my setup not as ghetto, which it's kind of leaning right now. If it falls on me, don't be surprised. But I was cutting that in half, and it chipped the blade. And I'm like, that's not right. That is a very, very soft pine that it shouldn't be chipping on. And I don't know why that it did. So it makes me think that they might be overheat treating their knives, which we don't really hear that too often, right? Or maybe they heated it up too much with the primary grind, or the secondary grind, whatever. But you don't hear that too much. The chippiness, like you hear that it's too soft, it's rolling, it won't hold an edge. Oh no, these things hold their edges. They just chip. So you're kind of swinging the pendulum all the way in the other end. After a long time of use, because obviously this is going to be a forever knife for me, this is probably my favorite knife in my collection, guys. I know I have the Shaman. I know I have the Super Freak. I know I have the Smock. This is probably my favorite. So yes, this is a forever knife. I will give you guys a long-term update after I've had a chance to sharpen this several times and see if that chippiness kind of goes away once we get to some better steel. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Same thing with the 8015. The 8015 rolled on me right away. So maybe if I sharpen that a couple times and use that for a while, might get some better steel and you won't have the same problems. So this thing's coming in at about $220. Is it worth it? Yeah. To me it is. It's just this hunk of titanium, hunk of S35. It's huge. I mean, look at that. You guys know how big this 8015 is. For those of you that don't, look up how long and how big the 8015 is. It is just as long as the 8015. It is a beast of a knife coming in a sleek profile, but it's not too sleek that it feels kind of wussy. It just feels, I hate to say it, kind of tactical in your pocket. Like you just feel kind of like a badass carrying this. And I don't even look at it as a weapon. You guys know me. I look at these as tools. So is it worth $220? Yeah, you're getting some bearings. You're getting a hunk of titanium. You're getting nice S35. You're getting excellent fit and finish. You're getting some carbon fiber scales with a deep carry pocket clip, over travel stop, and decent, and I'm not going to call it best ergonomics, but decent ergonomics. I've flipped the living crap out of this, and there is no side to side, no up and down, and it is the most tight feeling knife that I think I've ever felt. I don't know how to describe the tight feeling, but like even when things are locked up, that thing's locked. It's not going anywhere. The knife just feels solid and robust in your hand. And if that's what you're looking for, that $220 is going to be well spent. And I don't care that I'm an enabler for you guys on this front. Offgrid knives are awesome. I do not get paid to say that, but I am a forever fan. And unless they do some crazy stuff in the near future, but I love the Scorpion. The Scorpion has become my #1 knife. And I think that's it. I hope this review wasn't biased, being that this was my #1 knife. Complaints? Yeah, recess the pocket clip screws. The ergonomics aren't that of a Spyderco. Maybe the heat treat is a little high, or their grinds got a little too hot without quenching the blade or keeping it cool. But I don't think that chippiness is going to stay. The pocket clip thing I didn't notice until I was reviewing it. And the ergonomics I can deal with. Like, I've cut stuff. The reason I'm doing this review is because I've held it for at least a week now. Fidgeted with it for enough for 3 months worth of time. And, yeah. So, the Offgrid Knives Scorpion. Fantastic knife. My favorite knife. One of my forever knives now. My name is Tyler. This has been Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp. Stay safe. Genuinely, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, guys. If you guys don't know, at 500 subs, I'm giving away a ProTech Newport. And I do periodic giveaways, which, hint, hint, there's a couple coming up. I'm a little overdue on some giveaways, so I need to do some of those. I told you guys I would always hide my giveaways. I won't broadcast them. I think I will broadcast one of the new ones coming up. But there's a couple others that I'm not going to broadcast. I'll hide them in Easter eggs in the videos. That's all I got for you guys. My name is Tyler. This has been Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe. Have a great freaking day.